Red alert. Red alert. Red alert. Calling all ambitious sales and marketing professionals. Do you think your auto selling profession problems are over? Think again. Believe me, there are yet more obstacles that is bound to come for carmakers. Period. You ask why? Simply because escalating metal prices caused by the Russia-Ukraine war could add further pressure on auto sector. Trust me, this one concern may be just the start of the collapse of the auto industry altogether. Believable. Although there are serious calls for our quick and urgent action. Yet this newsletter can help examine its seriousness objectively. Maybe, the auto industry is only a small part of our total economy, yet left unchecked, it might badly affect every other business sectors too. In truth, this bulletin itself may not be the silver bullet to destroy all the auto business setbacks. Anyhow, this could be a good start. Agree or not? This newsletter and its revelations caution us to be mindful of the war between Russia and Ukraine, shortages of supply of raw materials, and other related difficulties. All the same, the contents of this newsletter may in one way or other serve as a roadmap to improve our auto industry. Without further ado, let's dive into this week's message. Alright. Kuala Lumpur. Headline. More worries for car makers. Do you know escalating metal prices as a result of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war could add further pressure on car makers? Car makers are already grappling with chip shortages and higher energy costs. Among the key metals used in vehicular production, KAF Equities SDNBHD said prices of palladium, aluminum and high-grade nickel have soared to record highs since the start of the war. Should the Russia-Ukraine conflict drag on or deteriorate, the palladium supply situation may tighten further, causing another supply shortage to carmakers. This could further disrupt the manufacturing supply chain and lead to lower car production to fulfill the rising demand globally, along with rising raw material costs, it said in a report yesterday. Nevertheless, KAF Equities said the magnitude of the impact from the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict will hinge on how the situation develops. As of now, we do not expect the current surging metal prices to cause massive car price increases in the near term. However, should metal prices continue to rise for a prolonged period, rising cost pressures on carmakers may then be passed on to buyers, increasing cost of ownership and potentially dampening demand for vehicles. KAF Equities said it will continue to monitor the Russia-Ukraine situation, adding that it is maintaining an overweight call on the local automotive sector for the moment. Meanwhile, AM Investment Bank said it is projecting revenue and earnings within the local automotive sector to grow 6% and 38% respectively in 2022. The higher sales projected are in tandem with the expected pickup in consumer spending following the wider economic recovery. Meanwhile, the stronger earnings forecast is in view of an expanding margin, assuming an improvement in the sector's operating leverage with no more lockdown-induced production disruptions moving forward. The research house said aggregate earnings forecast for stocks under its coverage of Rm 2.13 billion implies that sector earnings will recover back to the pre-pandemic levels in 2022. Given that most companies within the sector rely on domestic demand, earnings would be relatively shielded from the impact of geopolitical conflicts. Industry sales are expected to rebound in 2022 as the supply chain normalizes and consumers' confidence gradually recovers, underpinned by the pickup in broad-based economic activities. AM Investment Bank, which is also maintaining its overweight call on the local automotive sector, expects total vehicle sales to grow 9% year-on-year to 555,000 units in 2022. In its monthly update last month, the Malaysian Automotive Association (MAA) revealed that total vehicle sales in January rose 21.6% to 40,581 units from 33,392 units in the same month last year. On expectations for February, MAA said sales are expected to be maintained at the January level due to it being a shorter working month, as well as supply chain disruptions due to recent floods and the ongoing chip shortage. End newsletter. Extracted and modified from open printed source. By the way, come to think of it, we know it is a lengthy newsletter, on the topic of the fears of car manufacturers have become greater, yet we want to congratulate you for reading entire bulletin up to now. Make no mistakes, we are strongly committed to your growth, self-development, and your success in your auto selling profession. Period. As a most important reminder, attention should be paid to issues related to the war between Russia and Ukraine, as well as the prices of high-quality palladium, aluminum and nickel. And the consequences of additional costs incurred by automakers could also be passed on to buyers, increasing operating costs and potentially reducing demand for cars. Relevant enough. On the other hand, the automobile sector, which rely on domestic demand, earnings would be relatively shielded from the impact of geopolitical conflicts. True. Moreover, the car industry is also projecting revenue and earnings within the local automotive sector to grow 6% and 38% respectively in 2022. Because you have read the entire bulletin, you now deserve more free bonus gifts of free chapters of the book, How to Prospect for Your Ideal Customer. Least you forget, these sharing by us will continue to upgrade your professionalism in WhatsApp, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And of course in our club's president email, josephsfung@gmail.com. Upon request. Alright. Extracted and modified from open printed source. Thank you again. We hope to meet you, next week, new sheet. Au revoir, and best wishes. From me, Madam Florence, the virtual assistant to author CTM Joseph. P.S. In passing, allow me to drop you a great quote by Roger Staubach, American Athletics. At a car dealership, the person who sells the car is the hero, and also gets the commission. But if the mechanics don't service that car well, the customer won't return. End Auto Newsletter. Dated the 8th of March 2022.